I'm gonna get so much copyright for that. Hey guys, it's Sam. Oh my god, the echo in this room is too much. Anyway guys, I know you guys have seen all the news just by looking at my Instagram and probably other people's Instagrams as well. But some of you have said that you want to hear my thoughts about everything as well, like more in depth in a video. So I'm like, okay. Anyway, so as you guys know, in my last video, I talked about Harry on the cover of Vogue magazine. It was such a big topic. Everyone was talking about it, you know, Harry in a dress. If you guys haven't seen that video, you can just watch it after this one if you'd like. So I woke up yesterday and I noticed that Harry was on the cover of yet another magazine. Like, this guy doesn't stop. Not that I'm complaining, you know? I mean, he's just going from one magazine to another. He's like, bitch, if you didn't know me, you better know me now. But anyway, so in this week's news, Harry was on the cover of Variety. Here were some of the pictures that came out as well. Harry just knows the impact that he has on people, honestly. I mean, like, I'm not trying to complain. I love photos of Harry, but the pictures of him on Vogue killed me. And now the fact that he came out with more photos on another magazine, it's just like, okay, Harry, this is a lot to process. Like, honestly, guys, I would rather see news about the boys every day, as long as it's good news, than see none of them at all. Because I think our biggest fear was that once One Direction broke up, or as I should say, went their own ways separately, because the word breakup is very triggering for this fandom. But I think a lot of us thought that we wouldn't really hear of One Direction again. Like, they'd be doing stuff, but the media just wouldn't be talking about them. Ever since One Direction went their separate ways, Harry Styles has gotten so much more popular. He's been more in the news. I feel like even Louis got more popular, to the point where he's been making a name for himself. But anyway, I don't want to get off track in this video because I already am. So not only did we get more pictures of Harry in this magazine, he was also interviewed as well. The whole interview actually came out in this magazine, but it was very small print and there was just a lot to look through. So thank you to Harry Updates on Instagram. They always put all the updates on their Instagram story, and that's where I get a lot of my news from. So Harry says, I think it's important when making any kind of art to remove the ego from it. It's about the work that you do when you're not expecting any applause. I love how self-aware Harry is, like, in this big world of the music industry where people get caught up in the fame and everything. It's cool that Harry is still level-headed and still very true to himself, and he just knows what he wants. Harry also mentioned that his relationship with LA has changed a lot. Like, he doesn't really feel like he has to live there anymore. Like, in the past, he felt like he had to. And I'm sure a lot of people in the music industry or just in the entertainment business in general feel that way. I think a lot of people feel like if you're a musician, an artist, you have to live in LA, but that's just not true. Also, guys, love this one right here. Harry was throwing a little bit of shade, I think, at Candace Owens and all the other haters. So Harry says, to not wear something because it's female's clothing, you shut out a whole world of great clothes. And I think what's exciting about right now is you can wear what you like. It doesn't have to be X or Y. Those lines are becoming more and more blurred. Yeah, some people should take notes. But no, Harry's absolutely right, and I talked more about this in my last video. Also, guys, just a little side note, on Harry's Twitter and Instagram, he actually did shade Candace Owens. And this isn't a maybe or allegedly, like, no, for real, he dead ass shaded her. So he posted this picture of himself with a banana and said, bring back manly men. And I think Candace Owens read that as like, oh yeah, see, Harry's listening to me. See, guys, bring back manly men. Like, anyone with a brain cell knows that Harry Styles was being sarcastic when he wrote that. And obviously he was talking about Candace Owens because she was the one who said bring back manly men. And that got very popular in the media. So yeah, it was a jab towards her. And I love that. What an icon. Like, again, it's the whole treat people with kindness. Harry doesn't have to be rude to someone to get his point across. Harry also discussed how he had to cover up a lot of his tattoos for his movie role in Don't Worry Darling. He said, "It's the only time I really regretted getting tattooed." Honestly though, like Harry has so many tattoos, he was probably in that makeup chair for hours. Harry says, "I learned so much. When we were in the band, I used to try and write with as many different people as I could. I wanted to practice and I wrote a lot of bad shit." I mean, honestly, Harry, I didn't think anything you wrote was bad, unless you're talking about stuff you never released, then I have no idea. But I'm sure it wasn't bad. And I think when you're a music artist, you need a lot of that self-awareness to be able to grow in your craft. Harry also talked a little bit about One Direction, and he says, "The fact that we've all achieved different things outside of the band says a lot about how hard we worked in it." Boy bands usually have a shelf life of about 5 years, and usually when you're all in a band, not everyone gets an individual say on what they want to do. So I actually think it was best that all of them went their own way, because now we get to see their individual talents and creativity, and that just made them all grow as people. Harry also talked about racial injustices and Black Lives Matter in the magazine. In short, he says, "Looking back, I don't think I've been outspoken enough in the past." Basically, Harry was talking about how sometimes, even if we're uncomfortable with certain conversations, that is not an excuse not to have those conversations. And I think that is absolutely right. There's been so much that's happened in 2020, and a lot of people might be uncomfortable talking about certain things, but it's very important, and I think we should normalize certain topics, especially when it comes to social justice. Harry says, "Historically, I can't think of any industry that's benefited more off of Black culture than music. There are discussions that need to happen about this long history of not being paid fairly. It's a time for listening, and hopefully people will come out humbled, educated, and willing to learn and change." There's like a lot of white people out there who just aren't aware, they don't educate themselves about things, and they think that they don't need to because they're white and they have that privilege or more opportunities, But I think it's important that when you know you have this privilege, you should use your voice even more, because marginalized groups really need allies. And Harry is a good example of an ally. Someone who's not afraid to speak up and someone who has a platform and a voice. Harry also talked about his first album. He says, "I love that album so much because it represents such a time in my life. But when I listen to it sonically and lyrically, especially, I can hear places where I was playing it safe. I was scared to get it wrong." And honestly, Harry shouldn't worry too much about that. I mean, it was his first solo album. Like, what do you expect? Usually anyone who comes out with a first solo album, it's not going to be perfect. Like, it was only expected that his second album would be a lot stronger. Okay, so Harry actually said a lot more in the interview, but I'm not gonna read all that in this video today. The rest of it is on my Instagram, so if you go to my Instagram right here, you'll see more from that interview. So now moving on to some of Harry's recent music successes, I shall read them off. Again, thank you to Harry Update for providing a lot of these stats. Watermelon Sugar is now 3 times certified platinum in the US for selling over 3 million copies. Harry Styles is ranked Billboard's top male album sales artist of 2020. Harry's album Fine Line ranked 4th in the most streamed albums globally. And Harry Styles' song Adore You ranked number 3 in most streamed songs on iHeartRadio with 1.81 billion audience spins. Let's all clap for Harry. That is amazing though. I mean, guys, just think about it. We've been following Harry on his music journey for such a long time, whether it be his solo career or even his career in the band. I've been supporting Harry Styles and all the other boys since 2012. So the fact that Harry is just being nominated and winning awards and having all these musical successes, it just really makes you proud as a fan. When you've been a fan of someone for so long and you've seen where they started versus where they are now, you almost feel a part of their success in a way, and that is so powerful.
He made a record, his self-titled album from 2017, that sounded like it was made in 1972. You've got Watermelon Sugar and several others from the album that have really made him not just a star in his own right, but a star because of his song.
There's a lot of people who are into Harry Styles now who never would have been caught dead buying a One Direction album, and yet have now had to come to the conclusion that, hey, this guy is making music for me too, even though I didn't think I was part of the target demographic. This is a really good soft rock record from the 70s, disguised as a pop record from the 21st century. Harry Styles strikes me as kind of the George Clooney of pop, in that he's brilliant at what he does. No one doubts his ability, but you feel so comfortable settling in with him. You know you're not going to watch him sweat. He's so confident and at ease with himself.
He's proven that he can take a vision, take an album project, and give it to his fans so that they can devour it as a complete, cohesive collection.
His new song, Fine Line, has debuted at #1 in the US and has broken the record for the #1 sales for a British male artist. He's tacked on 3 Grammy nominations. Now, I have gotten to know Harry over the last couple months making the film Don't Worry, Darling, and I have learned that Harry is not only an incredibly talented musician and a very, very good actor, but he's a genuinely wonderful dude. He brings coffee and donuts every morning to meetings and sent me flowers on my wedding night. He is a manly man if I've ever met one. So I am thrilled and honored to present Harry Styles, which is his real name, he told me on set, by the way. He was born with that name. It's like, how could he not be a star with the name Harry Styles?
I just want to say a massive thank you to Variety for making me the Hitmaker of the Year. It's very strange and a very proud moment for me. And for everyone who I made the record with, yeah, thank you. This is cool. And I hope to see you soon. Take care.
And now in my last topic, I'm gonna show you guys some clips and pictures from the behind the scenes of the Golden music video and Harry on the set of Don't Worry, Darling. Okay, I hope I really don't get copyright for those Golden clips. If you guys want to see the full behind the scenes of the Golden music video, it's on Harry Styles YouTube. But guys, just seeing all these behind the scenes, especially Harry on set, like, oh my god, like all the outfit changes, him in a suit, him driving in the car, just the scenes with the other characters, like, oh my gosh, it's a lot, and I can't wait to see this film. Not sure when it's gonna be out. I heard maybe next year, 2021. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, but I think in comparison to 2020, next year is just gonna be so much better. I think any year is gonna be so much better than 2020. Anyway guys, so that's all the news for today. Hopefully I included everything. There was just a lot of information. If I did miss anything, just leave that down below. And like always, I make a new video whenever I want, so like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description, and I will see you guys later. Bye.